The day the skies opened was unlike any other in human history. It was a crisp autumn morning when the massive alien ship appeared in low Earth orbit, its sleek, iridescent hull reflecting the sunlight like a second moon. Panic gripped the planet as governments scrambled to respond, militaries mobilized, and civilians huddled in their homes, glued to news broadcasts. But the aliens came in peace. They called themselves the Estrene Confederacy, an advanced civilization from a distant arm of the Milky Way. Their mission? To invite humanity into the Galactic Alliance, a coalition of species united against a common threat. Admiral Elena Vasquez of the United Earth Space Command stood on the bridge of the UES Horizon, Earth's most advanced spacecraft. Even so, it felt like a tugboat next to the Estrene vessel. As she prepared to board the alien ship for humanity's first official meeting, her comm officer, Lieutenant Raj Patel, approached with a concerned look. "Admiral, we're receiving transmissions from every major world leader. They're demanding to know what's happening," Raj reported, his voice tense. Elena nodded, her steely gaze fixed on the looming alien ship. "Tell them we're about to make history, Lieutenant, one way or another." The shuttle ride to the Estrene ship was brief but felt eternal. Elena's mind raced with possibilities, both wondrous and terrifying. As they docked, she took a deep breath, straightened her uniform, and stepped into the unknown. The Estrene greeting party was a sight to behold. Tall, willowy beings with opalescent skin and eyes that seemed to contain entire galaxies. Their leader, introduced as High Counselor Zara, bowed slightly in greeting. "Welcome, children of Earth." Zara's melodious voice resonated in Elena's mind. "We have long awaited this moment." Elena returned the gesture, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "On behalf of humanity, we thank you for this peaceful contact. We have many questions." Zora's expression turned grave. "And we have much to tell you. Please, follow me to the council chamber." As they walked through corridors that seemed to be alive with pulsing light, Zara explained the situation. The Galactic Alliance, a federation of over 50 species, had been locked in a centuries-long war with an entity known as the Void Collective, a hive mind of synthetic beings bent on assimilating or destroying all organic life. "We've managed to hold them at bay," Zara continued, "but we're losing ground. That's why we've come to Earth. Your species' unique adaptability and innovative thinking could be the key to turning the tide." Elena listened intently, her mind reeling from the implications. As they entered the council chamber, a holographic display of the Milky Way materialized, showing the territories controlled by the Alliance and the Void Collective. "We're offering Earth full membership in the Alliance," Zara said, her gaze intense. "With it comes advanced technology, interstellar travel capabilities, and a place among the stars. But it also means joining our war." Elena studied the map, noting Earth's position on the outer rim of Alliance territory. "And if we refuse?" Zara's expression darkened. "The Void Collective will eventually reach your world. Alone, you would have no chance of survival." The weight of the galaxy seemed to press down on Elena's shoulders. This decision would alter the course of human history forever. She thought of the billions of lives on Earth, blissfully unaware of the cosmic war raging around them. "I'll need to consult with Earth's leaders," Elena said finally. "This isn't a decision I can make alone." Zara nodded understanding. "Of course, we'll provide you with all the information you need to make an informed choice. But know this, Admiral Vasquez, time is not on our side. The Void Collective advances, and every day we delay is a day closer to their victory." As Elena prepared to return to the horizon, her mind buzzed with the monumental task ahead. How would she convince a divided world to unite and join an interstellar war? And even if they agreed, how could humanity hope to contribute meaningfully to a conflict of this scale? Little did she know, Earth's greatest strength lay in the very ships and strategies that the rest of the galaxy would soon mock and underestimate. The United Nations General Assembly Hall buzzed with tension as world leaders gathered for what many called the most crucial meeting in human history. Admiral Elena Vasquez stood at the podium, her posture rigid, her voice clear as she addressed the assembly. Distinguished leaders, the choice before us is stark. Join the Galactic Alliance and fight for our survival, or face annihilation alone. The chamber erupted into chaos. Shouts of protest mingled with cries of support, creating a cacophony that reflected the world's divided opinion. President Chen of China stood, his face a mask of skepticism. And how do we know this isn't an elaborate ruse? Perhaps these Estrenes seek to conquer us through deception. I assure you, Mr. President, the threat is real. Elena countered, activating a holographic display. The image of a planet, once lush and green, withered before their eyes, its surface turning black as if consumed by a creeping void. This is what happens to worlds that fall to the Void Collective. A hush fell over the room as the implications sank in. Chancellor Mueller of the European Union spoke next, her voice trembling slightly. Even if we believe you, Admiral, how can we possibly contribute to an interstellar war? Our technology is centuries behind theirs. Elena's eyes gleamed with determination. That's where you're wrong, Chancellor. The Estrenes believe our adaptability and innovative thinking could be the key to victory. We may lack their advanced technology, but we have something they desperately need: a fresh perspective. The debate raged on for hours. Some nations, led by the United States and Japan, advocated for immediate acceptance of the alliance's offer. Others, including Russia and Brazil, called for caution and further negotiation. As the arguments grew heated, an unexpected voice cut through the din. Dr. Aisha Mbeki, the renowned South African astrophysicist, had been invited as an expert consultant. She rose, her calm demeanor a stark contrast to the frenzied atmosphere. Leaders of Earth, she began, her accent lilting. We stand at a crossroads of cosmic proportions. Yes, joining this war is risky. But consider the alternative. If we refuse, we condemn ourselves to eventual destruction. By joining, we at least have a fighting chance. Her words seemed to resonate, but doubts lingered. The Indian Prime Minister voiced the concern on everyone's mind. And what of our sovereignty? Will we become mere pawns in this galactic alliance? Admiral Vasquez shook her head emphatically. The alliance has guaranteed our autonomy. We join as equals, not subjects. In fact, she paused, allowing her next words to sink in. They've offered to help us establish our first extrasolar colony as a gesture of good faith. This announcement sent a ripple of excitement through the assembly. The prospect of becoming a multi-planet species, a dream long held by many, was suddenly within reach. As the debate stretched into its second day, a compromise began to take shape. Earth would join the alliance, but with conditions. They would contribute to the war effort, but maintain control over their military assets. They would accept technological assistance, but continue to develop their own unique solutions. Finally, after 48 grueling hours of negotiation, a vote was called. The result was far from unanimous, but it was decisive. Earth would join the Galactic Alliance. As the assembly adjourned, Admiral Vasquez found herself cornered by reporters. One question rose above the rest. Admiral, how will Earth contribute to this war? What can we offer that advanced alien civilizations can't? Elena smiled, a glint of mischief in her eye. We'll do what humans do best. We'll adapt, we'll innovate, and we'll surprise them all. The galaxy thinks they're getting cannon fodder. What they're really getting is humanity's greatest weapon, our ingenuity. Little did the galaxy know, Earth's fleet was about to redefine the very nature of space warfare. The Galactic Alliance's Central Command buzzed with activity as representatives from various species gathered to review Earth's contribution to the war effort. Admiral Elena Vasquez stood proudly before the holographic display, showcasing the schematics of Earth's fleet. As you can see, Elena explained, her voice steady despite the skeptical looks from the alien delegates, our ships are designed with maximum adaptability in mind. Each vessel can be rapidly reconfigured to serve multiple functions. She zoomed in on a particular ship model, This is the Chameleon-class cruiser. It can switch between heavy artillery, fast interceptor, or repair and support roles within minutes. A low murmur rippled through the audience. Grakthal, the bulky, reptilian commander of the Saurian battle fleet, let out a dismissive snort. Adaptability. Ha! In real combat, you need specialized ships that excel at their designated roles. This jack-of-all-trades approach will get you killed. Alina opened her mouth to respond, but Xinuxa, the insectoid tactical advisor, cut her off. I must agree with Commander Grakthal. Your designs lack focus. How can a ship be an effective artillery platform if it sacrifices armor for speed? Or a competent repair vessel if it's burdened with weapon systems? The human admiral took a deep breath, reminding herself that these beings had been fighting this war for centuries. Their skepticism was understandable, if frustrating. With respect, our approach is different, but that's precisely why we believe it could be effective. The Void Collective has adapted to your tactics over the years. Our flexibility could be the unpredictable element that turns the tide. Lyrael, the ethereal Estrine who had first contacted Earth, floated forward. Her expression was kind, but her words were not encouraging. Admiral Vasquez, we appreciate Earth's enthusiasm, but perhaps it would be best if your ships focused on support roles. Leave the main combat to those with more experience. Alina felt her face flush with indignation, but years of diplomatic training kept her voice level. I understand your concerns, but I assure you, our ships are combat ready. We've run countless simulations. Simulations? Grakthal interrupted with a barking laugh. Simulations are nothing compared to real battle. Human, your ships would be torn apart in seconds against the Void Collective. As the mockery continued, Alina noticed a small avian-like being watching her intently from the back of the room. Unlike the others, its expression seemed curious rather than dismissive. After what felt like hours of criticism and thinly veiled insults, the meeting adjourned. As Alina gathered her materials, feeling deflated but not defeated, the avian being approached her. Greetings, Admiral Vasquez. I am Kirin of the Corvid Syndicate. It chirped, its beady eyes glinting with intelligence. I found your designs intriguing. Alina raised an eyebrow. You're the first to say so. Everyone else seems to think we're naive fools. Kirin tilted its head. Perhaps, or perhaps they're too set in their ways to see the potential. We Corvids value adaptability and unconventional thinking. I'd be interested in discussing your ideas further. For the first time since the meeting began, Alina felt a glimmer of hope. I'd be happy to, Kirin. It's refreshing to find someone with an open mind. As they walked away, Alina overheard Grakthal's booming voice. Mark my words, those human ships won't last a day in real combat. They'll come crawling back, begging for our protection. Alina's jaw clenched, but she held her tongue. Let them mock, she thought. They'll see soon enough what humanity is capable of. Little did the Alliance know, Earth's fleet was already en route to the front lines, ready to prove its worth. The galaxy was about to learn a valuable lesson. Never underestimate human ingenuity. The vast expanse of space stretched out before the UES horizon, Earth's flagship, as it led humanity's first interstellar fleet towards the front lines. Admiral Alina Vasquez stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing their trajectory through unfamiliar star systems. Status report, Lieutenant Patel, she commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. Raj's fingers danced over his console. All systems nominal. Admiral, the Chameleon-class cruisers are maintaining formation, and our Estrine escort reports no anomalies. Alina nodded, allowing herself a small smile. Despite the skepticism they'd faced, their fleet had performed admirably so far. The journey had not been without its challenges, though. 3 days into their voyage, they'd encountered an uncharted asteroid field. While the Estrine ships had to plot a time-consuming course around it, the Earth fleet's adaptability had shown. Within minutes, the Chameleon-class cruisers had reconfigured into mining and construction vessels, carving a safe path through the field and harvesting valuable minerals in the process. The Astrian captain, Zara, had been impressed but cautious. Ingenious, she had admitted, but such improvisations could be dangerous in combat situations. Now, as they approached the midpoint of their journey, a new challenge arose. Alarms blared across the bridge, startling the crew. "Report," Elena barked. "Massive energy spike detected." "Admiral," Raj responded, his voice tense. It's a pulsar. Our long-range sensors failed to detect it earlier due to some kind of spatial anomaly." Elena's mind raced. Pulsars emitted powerful beams of electromagnetic radiation that could fry their ship systems. The Astrian vessels were already veering off, their superior sensors having given them more warning time. "All ships, initiate Pulsar Protocol Omega," Elena commanded. It was a maneuver they'd designed but never tested in real conditions. The skeptics in the Alliance would have called it suicidal. The Earth fleet sprang into action. The Chameleon-class cruisers quickly reconfigured, linking up to form a massive rotating ring. As the pulsar's beams swept towards them, the linked ships generated a powerful electromagnetic field, deflecting the deadly radiation. On the horizon's bridge, the crew held their breath as the pulsar's beam washed over them. For a heart-stopping moment, the ship's systems flickered. "Shield integrity at 92% and holding," Raj reported, a note of awe in his voice. "We're going to make it, Admiral." As the danger passed, Elena released a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. The Earth fleet had survived its first true test. The comm system crackled to life, and Zara's face appeared on screen. The Astrian captain's expression was a mix of disbelief and respect. "Admiral Vasquez, that was unexpected. How did you know that would work?" Elena allowed herself a small, proud smile. "We didn't, not for certain. But we had faith in our designs and our crew's ability to execute under pressure." Zara nodded slowly. "Perhaps there is more to your adaptive approach than we initially thought. I'll be sure to include this in my report to Central Command." As the fleet resumed its journey, Elena felt a surge of pride. They had faced their first major challenge and emerged victorious. But she knew this was just the beginning. The true test would come when they faced the Void Collective in battle. "Plot a course to rendezvous with the main Alliance fleet," Elena ordered. "It's time to show the galaxy what humanity can really do." As the Earth ships accelerated towards their destiny, the crew's spirits were high. They had proven their worth in the face of a natural disaster. Soon, they would have the chance to prove themselves against an enemy that had terrorized the galaxy for centuries. Little did they know, their greatest challenge, and their finest hour, lay just ahead. The Void Collective was waiting, and the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. The swirling chaos of the Vorlex Nebula loomed before the combined fleets of the Galactic Alliance. Streaks of vibrant purples and blues painted the vastness of space, punctuated by the twinkling of distant stars. It was here, on the fringes of known space, that the Void Collective had been cornered. Admiral Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge of the UES horizon, her eyes scanning the tactical display. The Earth fleet had been positioned at the rear of the formation, a clear indication of the Alliance's lingering doubts about their capabilities. "Admiral," Lieutenant Raj Patel called out, his voice tense, "we're receiving the battle plan from Alliance Command." Elena reviewed the strategy, her brow furrowing. "They want us to hold position and provide long-range support. That's not what our ships are designed for." Before she could voice her concerns, the comm system crackled to life. The gruff face of Commander Grakthal filled the screen. "Remember your place, humans. Stick to the plan and try not to get in our way." As the transmission cut off, Elena clenched her fists. She knew their ships could do more, but this wasn't the time for insubordination. "Acknowledged, Command." Earth fleet moving into position. The battle began with a furious exchange of fire. The Void Collective's ships, sleek and black as the space between stars, emerged from the nebula like a swarm of angry insects. Their energy weapons lashed out, punching holes through the Alliance's front lines. From their position at the rear, the Earth fleet struggled to contribute meaningfully. Their adaptive weapons systems, designed for mid-range combat, were less effective at this distance. "This is useless," Alina muttered, watching as another Alliance cruiser succumbed to the Void's onslaught. "Raj, open a channel to Kirin of the Corvid Syndicate." The avian being's face appeared on screen, its feathers ruffled from the stress of battle. "Admiral Vasquez, this is hardly the time for a chat." "Kirin, you said you found our designs intriguing. Well, now's the time to put them to the test. We need to break formation and engage at close range." The Corvid's eyes widened. That would be a direct violation of orders. "It's that or watch the Alliance fall," Alina countered. "Are you with us?" After a moment's hesitation, Kirin nodded. "The Corvid fleet will follow your lead, Admiral. Let's hope your adaptability is as effective as you claim." Alina turned to her crew, her voice ringing with authority. "All ships, initiate Maneuver Omega. Chameleon-class cruisers, reconfigure for close-quarters combat. We're taking the fight to the enemy." The Earth fleet surged forward, their ships rapidly transforming. What had been long-range support vessels now bristled with short-range weaponry and reinforced shields. The Corvid ships fell in alongside them, their agile fighters providing cover. As they closed in on the Void Collective's flank, Alina could hear the outraged shouts of Alliance commanders over the comm. But there was no turning back now. "Fire at will," Alina commanded. The space around them erupted in a dazzling display of firepower. Earth's adaptable ships darted between the lumbering Alliance cruisers, striking at the Void vessels with precision and ferocity. Their ability to quickly switch between offensive and defensive configurations caught the enemy off guard. For a moment, it seemed like the tide of battle was turning. But then, a massive Void battleship emerged from the depths of the nebula. Its size dwarfed even the largest Alliance vessels, and its weapons glowed with an ominous energy. "By the stars," Raj whispered, "our sensors are off the charts. That thing could obliterate half our fleet with a single shot." Alina stared at the monstrosity, her mind racing. Their adaptable approach had gotten them this far, but against such overwhelming firepower, would it be enough? As the Void battleship charged its main cannon, targeting the heart of the Alliance fleet, Alina knew they had mere moments to act. Everything they had fought for, every doubt they had overcome, it all came down to this moment. "All Earth ships," she commanded, her voice unwavering, "initiate Protocol Phoenix. It's time to show the galaxy what we're really capable of." As her orders echoed across the fleet, Alina silently prayed that their most audacious, untested strategy would work. The fate of the battle, perhaps of the entire war, now rested on humanity's ultimate gambit. The massive Void battleship loomed over the battlefield, its main cannon pulsing with deadly energy. The Alliance fleet, caught off guard by its sudden appearance, scrambled to regroup. But Admiral Alina Vasquez knew they didn't have time. "All Earth ships, initiate Protocol Phoenix," she commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. As the order spread through the human fleet, the Chameleon-class cruisers began a transformation unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Ships that were once distinct entities started to merge, their hulls flowing like liquid metal. The process was so bizarre that even the Void Collective's assault faltered for a moment. "What madness is this?" Commander Grachthal's voice boomed over the comms, a mixture of confusion and awe in his tone. Alina allowed herself a small smile. "This, Commander, is humanity's ultimate adaptive technology. Behold the Phoenix Protocol." Before the astonished eyes of friend and foe alike, the entire Earth fleet coalesced into a single massive entity. It was a ship unlike any other, with sections that constantly shifted and reconfigured. One moment it bristled with weaponry, the next it was encased in impenetrable shields. By the cosmic winds, Kirin of the Corvid Syndicate whispered, "It's beautiful." The Void battleship, recovering from its surprise, fired its main cannon. The beam of destructive energy lanced towards the heart of the Alliance fleet, but the newly formed human supership moved with impossible speed, intercepting the blast. For a heart-stopping moment, it seemed the human ship would be vaporized. But then, its surface rippled, and the energy of the blast was absorbed, redirected, and dispersed harmlessly into space. "Impossible," Grakthel exclaimed. "How did they survive that?" Alina's voice was calm as she responded. "Adaptability, Commander. We don't just change our tactics, we change our very form to meet any challenge." With the immediate threat neutralized, the human supership went on the offensive. It split into multiple sections, each targeting a different part of the Void fleet. One moment it was unleashing a barrage of missiles. The next, it was firing pinpoint laser strikes. The Void ships, for all their advanced technology, couldn't predict or counter the constantly changing assault. The Alliance fleet, emboldened by this turn of events, rallied. The Corvid fighters darted between the larger ships, picking off stragglers. The Saurian battlecruisers, led by Grakthal, formed a spearhead and drove deep into the enemy formation. As the battle raged on, Alina noticed a pattern in the Void battleship's movements. "There," she pointed to a spot on the tactical display. "That's their weak point. If we can hit it with enough force, we might be able to take down their flagship." But reaching that spot meant getting past the battleship's formidable defenses. It would require precision, power, and perfect timing. "All Alliance ships," Alina broadcast, "we have one shot at this. We need to coordinate our attack. Follow our lead." The human supership reconfigured once more, this time into a massive, arrow-like formation. The Alliance fleet fell in behind it, forming a wedge that cut through the chaos of the battlefield. As they approached the Void battleship, its defenses intensified. Energy beams and gravitational weapons pummeled the Alliance formation. Ships exploded left and right, but still they pressed on. "Now," Alina shouted as they reached the critical point. The human supership's tip transformed into a colossal energy-focusing array. Every ounce of power was channeled into a single devastating beam. At the same instant, every Alliance ship fired their most powerful weapons. The combined assault struck the Void battleship's weak point with the force of a supernova. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a silent flash that lit up the nebula, the massive ship exploded. A cheer went up across the Alliance fleet. The remaining Void ships, their command structure in chaos, began to retreat. Victory was theirs. As the human supership separated back into individual vessels, the comms exploded with messages of congratulations and awe from the Alliance commanders. Alina leaned back in her chair, exhausted but triumphant. They had done it. Humanity had proven its worth and changed the course of the war in a single incredible battle. But as the adrenaline of victory faded, a new question formed in her mind. Now that the galaxy had seen what humanity was truly capable of, how would this change their place in the Alliance? The war might be turning in their favor, but Alina suspected that humanity's greatest challenges and opportunities were just beginning. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Alliance's Central Command buzzed with excited chatter. Representatives from every member species had gathered for an emergency session, called in the wake of the stunning victory against the Void Collective. At the center of attention stood Admiral Alina Vasquez, her uniform still bearing scorch marks from the battle. As the Alliance's Supreme Council took their seats, a hush fell over the crowd. High Counselor Zara, her opalescent skin shimmering, stood to address the assembly. "Fellow sentients," her melodious voice rang out, "we stand at a pivotal moment in our history. The battle at Vorlix Nebula has changed everything. And for that, we owe a great debt to our newest allies, the humans of Earth." A round of applause echoed through the hall. Alina noticed with some amusement that even Commander Grakthal was grudgingly joining in. Zara continued, Admiral Vasquez, please step forward. The council would hear your words. Elena took a deep breath and approached the podium. Esteemed members of the Alliance, I stand before you not to claim glory, but to offer partnership. What you witnessed in battle was not just a display of technology, but a demonstration of humanity's core strength, our adaptability. She paused, letting her words sink in. For millennia, we evolved on a planet of constant change. We faced extinction-level events and survived. We went from primitive tools to space travel in the blink of a cosmic eye. Adaptability is in our DNA. And now we offer this gift to the Alliance. The hall erupted in murmurs. Kier Rin of the Corvid Syndicate chirped loudly. The Admiral speaks truth. I've seen firsthand the ingenuity of these humans. We would be fools not to embrace their methods. Grakthal, surprisingly, was the next to speak. I is wrong about you, humans, he admitted, his gravelly voice carrying a note of respect. Your jack-of-all-trades approach saved us all. The Saurian Empire would be honored to learn from Earth's adaptive strategies. One by one, representatives stood to voice their support. The tide of opinion had shifted dramatically. Humanity, once mocked and marginalized, was now being hailed as the savior of the Alliance. Zara raised her hand for silence. It is clear that Earth has earned its place among us. But Admiral Vasquez, with such power at your disposal, what assurances can you offer that Earth won't become a threat to the Alliance itself? Elena smiled, having anticipated this question. High Counselor, Earth has no interest in domination. Our history has taught us the futility of empire building. We seek cooperation, not control. In fact, we propose opening our adaptive technology to all Alliance members. Together, we can create a fleet that's greater than the sum of its parts. The proposal sent shockwaves through the assembly. Sharing such advanced technology was unprecedented. Yet it was a testament to Earth's commitment to the Alliance. After hours of debate and discussion, a historic decision was reached. Earth would be granted a seat on the Supreme Council, with Elena as its first representative. Moreover, a new adaptive technology division would be established, with joint leadership from all major Alliance species. As the session adjourned, Elena found herself surrounded by allies old and new. Kier Rin fluttered excitedly, already discussing potential collaborations. Even Grakthal approached, offering a respectful nod. You've done your people proud, Admiral, Zura said, joining the group. But I suspect our challenges are far from over. The Void Collective will return, possibly stronger than before. Elena nodded, her expression determined. And when they do, we'll be ready. Not as separate species, but as a truly united alliance. Adaptive, flexible, and stronger together. As she looked out at the diverse gathering of sentients, Elena felt a profound sense of hope. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not through conquest or superiority, but through cooperation and innovation. The road ahead would be challenging, filled with diplomatic hurdles and technological leaps. But Elena was confident that with their newfound unity and adaptive spirit, the Galactic Alliance could face any threat the universe might throw at them. As the first human Supreme Council member, Elena Vasquez prepared to lead her species into a new era of interstellar cooperation. The adaptive fleet had not just won a battle, it had changed the course of galactic history.